love is sweet. I wish I had one in my life. It would make it easier to have this conversation. But welcome back to AM Club here on MX24. I'm glad that you joined us. If you didn't celebrate Valentine the way they did, you're still, very relevant in society. In fact, God is happy with you. Welcome to our lifestyle daily session. I'm here to throw shades to people. Jay is also here.
The way who did.
I mean, if you love my dress today, it's Hajia.
I showed me. And show.
I bet I shimmy. I didn't mean the way it's here. I bet I shimmy.
Anyways, my name is Kojo as well. It's time for us to get into that conversation right now. Lifestyle Daily it is. Today, we're still in the month of love, so we're still talking. Today, we're talking long-term relationship. How to keep it long-term. Yeah. Long-term, yes. I was expecting him to have his whole, the vest, when he wears the vest, and then the shirt, and then, the tie, and then the pants and everything, then you know that this man is in for trouble, especially the vest. If he wears the suit, that one there we go extreme. But today they come plus kimono. So that means today we will take him slow, cool. on a cool note.
We have Dr. Kelly Daniels joining us for this conversation on how to build a long-term relationship.
Right.
Was the intro nice?
Fantastic.
Good. Now we're on the same page.
We are on the same page.
Good.
Except that some people decided to show us shaggy. Valentine's Day shaggy.
That one, it's all right.
Valentine's Day
next year they come.
Doc, tell her to get one. What is her problem?
I'll find love.
Receive.
I received it. Jesus.
To receive.
I received it.
Oh my goodness.
Because why? Am I God's vegetable?
Can you imagine?
Am I God's pepper?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Anyway, let's dive straight into the conversation on how to build a long-term relationship. But however, we want to really define what kind of relationship we're talking about. We're talking about a romantic relationship. What would you define a romantic relationship to be?
I would want to call a romantic relationship a kind that involves spirit, soul, and body. With marriage on the background of Home of Affairs. Because until marriage is a factor, then the romance is what?
In your mind.
So that's what should happen. So basically, a long-term relationship would be defined as a kind of relationship having the end in mind, which is marriage and family.
Okay.
However, the extension of long-term relationship would be because anybody can achieve marriage and family and still not have a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Because the wedding could be the goal and not the marriage. The marriage could be the goal and not the family. The family could be the goal and it's still not generational. So long-term has an inexhaustible pace or elasticity as to how long it will go. But I know that what we're talking about is, okay, how do we end up getting married? So let's just stay
in there, yes.
Because it's broad.
It's broad. Now, what are some of the key qualities or characteristics to a potentially long-term relationship?
Okay, first of all, it all starts with one person. It doesn't start with two. A fruitful relationship doesn't comprise of two people. It starts first with one person. Knowing who you are, knowing what you can handle, knowing how far you've come, knowing where you are now, and then knowing where you're going. Many people get into relationships because they are bored. And they have found someone who has given them attention. That's a very, very short-term relationship. Although it might look like it has long-term in mind. Oh, I'll marry him because he came into my life when I had nobody. He came into my life when I was downhearted. He came into my life when all those situational, conditional situations don't help. So basically, why am I in a relationship for long-term? How do I know this is long-term? where am I going personally? What do I want to achieve in my life? What's the purpose of my life? Purpose defines everything. So if I know my purpose, I would check my purpose vis-a-vis your purpose. And when I check the two purposes, because I know that my purpose is long-term, I can tag along with your purpose, and we know that our marriage will be long-term because we're trying to achieve literally the same thing with mutual energy. So the most important thing to check first of all is how ready am I to get the best out of this? Number two, how ready is the other person without me asking? What I mean is this. Anybody can make you see what they want you to see or feel what they want you to feel. But until you see beyond what they have shown you or said to you, you cannot be guaranteed that you can give it a start. Because anybody could be a fantastic actor or actress. So a long-term relationship has to do with two people with mutual understanding with same energy for flight.
Okay.
Then that's why you need to spend time knowing yourself, because if you know yourself enough, it's easy to know how far the other person is going to be going, because you know how much tenacity you've invested in yourself to come here. If you don't see same tenacity, same energy, same vibe, same intentional, forceful agility, you should know there's something wrong. You're dating yourself. It has to be same energy. So third thing you should have to check for is commitment. There's a difference between interest, commitment, and loyalty. Interest is what you have during dating. Commitment is what you have during courtship. Loyalty is what you have in marriage. So I'm interested in what we are doing because it's looking profitable as the days go by in dating. Now I am committed to that interest in courtship when we've decided that this thing is going to go a step further and all that. Now, in marriage, I am loyal to the Constitution, the modus operandi, the blueprint, the MOU. So I'm saying, I want to be loyal to this. It doesn't need to look like what it should be anymore. I have to create it to become what it should be. And that thing must be mutual. The most fundamental aspect of a long-term relationship is mutual vision. We can't keep seeing things differently with the intent of achieving the same goal. Because we may want to achieve the same goal, but with different spirits, which now defines the purpose for which you want to get married. Your purpose for marrying me may not be the reason for marrying you. Many women, and I'll come to the men later if I have the time. I say that because a man is in charge of the home, but the woman determines his pace. A man is in charge of a home. He's the head of the home, but the woman determines his pace. That's why I want to start with the women. Many women want to be wives, but not all women. All women want to be wives, but not many women want to be married.
Explain that first.
I'd rather say that there's a difference between being married and being a wife. Being married is the legal authentication of either a ring or a documentary to show. Being a wife is executing what it takes to be in a marital situation. So a lot of people are married but are not wives.
Yeah. And sometimes I do give people this explanation that when the Bible said that he that finds a wife, it didn't say he that finds a girl and makes a wife.
A nice woman.
A nice woman. It says he that finds
So
a wife.
it means
which means that you're a wife before you're found.
The quality of being married is the wifeness in you. But then, because men don't know who a wife is, most men, they look for a woman or a girl who best fits the picture in their mind. Like I always say, your village chief didn't institute marriage. Neither did the president of your country institute marriage. Until you see marriage how it should be originally seen by the one who instituted it, you will never get the kind of result required for a marital situation. So therefore, why do we have long-term in mind with short-term results?
Results, yes. Good.
We don't know what long-term is.
Are we ready for long term?
That's why, because we don't know it, we are not ready for it. Long-term relationship talks about sacrificial, intentional living for the cause that we have agreed to chart.
Please take that again. Take that again. The sacrificial.
They hit your spirit.
It
Yeah, I
has
want
to
us
be
to understand.
sacrificially intentional.
Yeah.
Sacrificially
Intentional. You don't go into marriage to be happy. In fact, you don't even date to be happy.
Kabush.
You're not supposed to be happy in dating. You're supposed to be fulfilled, because through fulfillment comes happiness. Happiness is a subset of fulfillment. But people are looking for happiness and they want to feel fulfilled. It's not possible. It's fulfillment before happiness. You want to feel good and smell good, go and bath. But it will take you getting up, preparing the water, putting all the equipment and all the things on you. That could be work for somebody else. So that the fulfillment of how you want to feel makes you invest the work needed to achieve that result. So that's the sacrifice. So instead of seeing it as sacrifice, see it as a necessary journey to what you want to achieve.
Right.
So my point is this. If you're not sacrificial, you cannot be fulfilled. If you cannot be fulfilled, you cannot be happy. So before happiness, when you're thinking love, think sacrifice. When you're thinking sacrifice, the motivation for sacrifice is the fulfillment picture in mind. And then naturally, you don't need to ask to be happy. You would naturally be happy with the results.
Now, this is a part of relationship that I think a lot of people find it difficult to move away from. That's when there's conflict in a relationship, when there's a fight, when there's a problem, when there's an issue, and you and your partner go into it. I once heard a gentleman saying that if you bring wahala to me, I'll just not mind you. And then when you're tired, you get over it. But what is the best way to go to deal with an issue and go past it to build a healthy relationship for that long-term, with that long-term goal in mind?
I like the question.
Thank you.
Many people address conflicts by pointing out what somebody is doing wrong. That's the wrongest way to achieve conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is not the table for pointing out what is wrong. It's for you to focus on what is right. Until you're positively minded, negativity will flood your mind, and you'll never get to a mutual, beautiful resolution. So, we have a conflict. Instead of, I'd rather say, do you know this thing could have been done this way, and would have achieved a better result? You should rather say that than saying, this is what you did, and this is what you did, and that's why we are here.
They're two different things.
So find a way of portraying to the person how better things can be done than telling them how wrong they are.
Okay.
Because if I keep showing you how wrong you are, as human as you are, the next response will be defensive.
Yeah.
Then you'll be justifying why you had to do what you had to do under the circumstance or context of which you had to do what you did. And indeed, that could be valid. But that's not the point why we are having this discussion. We want to see long term. So the best way to see long term is to focus on how things could have been done better rather than why things were done the way they were done. If we focus on how we can do things to get better, we would forget what has been done and what has been ruined and get better results, wiping off naturally the course of the history. That's the way to go.
That's the way to go about settling these things.
Yes, but you see, before Mimi gets into another one, I mean, she just asked about the conflict part. You get it, and also comes back to effective communication. You get it, and so, I mean, that is a key point with relationship, effective communication. So how best can you also, keep that, how best can you keep that in this long-term relationship? Or how best can you keep the effective communication so your relationship can last long?
The mother of effective communication is naked sincerity.
Okay.
Many people are sincere but not naked about it. They only want to tell you on surface level, which is sincere but not naked. The difference between nakedness and nudity is, this is how I am, this is who I am, this is where I am. Nudity is, this is what I have, this is what I'm offering, come have it all. Sexually speaking. So, to be nakedly sincere is to be vulnerable to the person casting all cards on the table. I can't know why you do what you do and blame you for the results.
Okay.
And so, but then you have to play the role of casting all the cards on the table, showing this is where we are now.
Okay.
Because I'm not in your head, you're not in mine.
Yeah.
And I cannot, you're not a robot that I have to configure to do as I want.
Yeah.
We should have what is called mutual respect enough to know why we do what we do. And I cannot change you from doing it a different way until we have a mutual vision, mutual goal. So effective communication comes with transparent, naked sincerity, which is actually transparency. And then having the end always in mind. Don't have your partner in mind. Have the end in mind, and your partner will be tagged along automatically. Say it again. Stop having your partner in mind. If you keep having your partner in mind, your partner will keep hurting you, and as long as that partner keeps hurting you, it will blur the picture of how much you can achieve together. So keep looking at the end in mind, and naturally, because you want to have the end in mind, your partner is one of the factors that would follow you through to the end in mind.
Okay.
I put this one down while we were having the conversation because I felt like some part of the conversations that we have looks self-sacrificing. So this one I'm going to read it to you. How do you differentiate between healthy compromise and sacrificing one's own need in a relationship?
See this question you just asked?
Yeah.
I can give you money for it. Because you see,
Money is good.
people...
Yeah, give me the money now.
People deny themselves, forgetting that they should deny the distractions. There's a difference between self-denial and denial of distractions. I want to lose weight. There are things I should no longer eat, and there are things I should start eating. That is self-denial to lose weight. Cutting off distractions is making sure that I do not accommodate anyone around me who doesn't believe in my dieting.
Yes.
So instead of making sure that I cut off those people around me, instead of making sure that I focus on the meal, I have to, my menu, I'm focusing on driving away the people around me. Well, the people around me are not the focus. Keep up the focus. Deny yourself of what you want to achieve, of anything that stops you from achieving what you want to achieve. Instead of driving away the flies, it's like you're eating food and flies are perching. Focus on the food. Otherwise, by the time you finish driving away the flies, the food is cold.
Yeah.
So what are you sacrificing? Sacrificing your focus on the food or sacrificing on chasing away the flies? Many people deny self, which should be, but then they don't know that they are not focused on the capacity to stand without the encumbrances. So what we should check is ignore the encumbrances and focus on what you want to achieve.
Okay.
That helps you know how to die wisely.
Because some people, and the reason I'm asking this again, I'll let us delve a little bit more into this conversation, is that there are people that, like you gave a very classical example, losing weight. Some people meet men who says that, oh, me, I don't like big girls. So then all of a sudden, because she likes him, she's about to lose weight. She's losing weight for him. However, in my opinion, if you're doing anything to achieve any goal in life, it should be for yourself. And then if the right person will fall in love with that you, and then you'll be a perfect match for them without feeling like you've lost anything.
That person saying, I don't like people in a certain way,
it's not for you.
Are the flies. Focus on what you want to achieve.
Right.
And die for it. Not what other people want to make out of you. Those are the distractions and the flies I was talking about.
Okay.
Those are the critics. All those people don't matter. If you focus on convincing the critics about what you want to do, you won't achieve what you want to achieve.
Sure.
So focus on the matter that matters and leave every other matter hanging. Look, life will always comply with consistency. If you're consistent with what you want to achieve, everybody else and every other factor will adjust.
Yeah.
How dedicated are you to die wisely? Dying wisely is denying yourself everything it takes to achieve this long-term relationship. In-laws don't matter, including your father, including your siblings. They don't matter. But if they keep mattering to you, that relationship will go stale.
Yeah.
So focus on the health of that relationship over the factors that could destroy it.
But what are some of the challenges, you could just, pinpoint? You have been talking to a lot of people. People might feel very comfortable, especially, couples can feel comfortable to come to you and say, oh, doc, this is what's happening in my marriage. I've even seen a lot even on your posts. There are certain things you post and I'm like, is doc just writing these things or scripts. These things are really, really true? You get it.
Yeah.
What are some of these challenges, just a few of them, probably one or two, that you can pinpoint that have been able to break down relationships, but you feel like if they should do it this way, it would help build a longer-term relationship?
Still boils down to everything I've said before now. If we're not looking at the same thing the same way, we won't achieve the same goal. I was talking to someone before the show started about intentionality in making the person see his wife as the prettiest woman in the world. As a person who is doing what I do, if I focus on the amount of feminine distractions that come my way, I will never have a peaceful life.
Yeah.
Forget about my marriage. I won't even have a peaceful life. So I have to find a way to convince myself that the people coming to me are not my focus. It is what I'm doing that keeps them coming.
Yeah.
So let me focus on what I'm doing, and then they'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
Because without what I'm doing, they won't even know I exist.
Yeah.
It means that I did not start with them.
Yeah.
It's because what I'm doing is progressing that I'm relevant to them. So stay on your relevance and know that you can do without them, because if you needed them to become who you are, they would have been there from day one. And they were not there from day one.
They were not there.
I'll give you guys an example, okay? This is my personal experience because I've had a couple of failed relationships.
We are interested in your relationship.
I've had a few failed relationships. I can talk about this. I met this fantastic gentleman. I liked him, but not knowing he liked me more. He was like, oh my God, I love this thing you do. There was a particular thing I was doing at the time. It's like, I absolutely love it. I love it so much. And anytime you're doing it, it gives me so much joy. And it turns out as though what I was doing at the time was what was drawing him close to me. Now your sister has fallen in love. And nothing matters in this world but him. So her focus wasn't anymore what she was doing with herself, and even the things around her, including some very, very important things in my life that I was doing that, you know, for my family, they admired me for it. I stopped dedicating.
He was not the focus.
He was the focus. Like I have to even look good, and sometimes when I look good, when I finish dressing myself, I'm like, this is not even me. But in my mind, and I wrote a piece which I'm about to complete in 2024. I said I knew her body more than I knew mine. Don't steal it. You're a book writer.
No. I have too much in my head.
No, but because it's a deep piece, right?
I get you.
I got into a dark place of depression, and it was because I was too focused on the woman he had a child with. And I would go on her Instagram page, the things she wore, because he has absolute respect for the woman. But I didn't know that he adored me even more, right? Because for little did I know that the lady was doing something I wasn't like, something he didn't like with her child, because you know I have a son, and I was doing something with my son that he absolutely loved. He would have loved her to do for their child. I was busy on this woman's social media. I was comparing, contrasting. The way she dressed became how I used to dress. The man left me. And he said, Mimi, you're making me tired. It's hard for me to... He outright told me one day that you stop doing you. And I don't know how. And you see, I struggle to even like you now. And he told me that between love and like, he asked me, between love and like, which one do you prefer? I said, I want you. It's like, you see, your priorities are even misguided. I want to like you so much so that loving you will not be hard. This man taught me a lesson of my life. Even when I said I had finished learning, the man don't want to come back because like, you get too comfortable. That's when I learned the lesson of my life.
Sorry.
To be more focused on me.
But thank you for sharing. Because not everyone would want to, you know, come out
that way.
You know, say it as you said it, blunt as it is.
This was too real, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
My life, bro.
And
again, let me share mine.
Okay.
You know when you are the counselor and they bring a case to you.
Yeah.
And then you... Okay, that's not that case I'm talking about. So you're seeing someone, but you're a counselor. Now you are relating with the person based on how much you know to work on the person. The person doesn't want to be worked on. The person is liking the relationship.
Yeah.
But you are seeing that, look, because of my vast knowledge, I want to work on you so much that you are a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
But the person is just okay the way she is, even with the fact that she can even relate with you. That alone is a miracle to her, and it should just be fantastic that way.
Literally, the person is not coming to you for counseling. The person is coming to you because you are a doctor.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
That relationship could not have lasted because we are looking at two different things. I'm looking at the future with you, working on you for us. You are seeing the fact that I am enough for you, how I am, and you're wondering why I can't see you as enough for me.
Yes.
But I'm seeing more than you are to me, and we can achieve it. But you are worried that if you're not complaining about who I am, I shouldn't be complaining about who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that. But we would be stagnant if we stay here. But there's more to achieve. It couldn't last. So it now became a situation where, okay, it now looks like you're too good for me, and I will never be able to be how you want me to be, so I'm leaving. And I had to understand. And it broke me because I really wanted it to work.
And you wanted to see the version you were seeing her so much.
I wanted to look into the past, maybe 10 years later, and say, hey, this is what she used to be, and I'm grateful to God that she's now this.
She doesn't need
but she
that.
couldn't see it.
And she didn't need that.
All she saw was, why am I not enough for you?
I got the perfect man. Why am I not good enough for him?
Yes. So she started comparing herself to the ladies in the media circle or every other colleague I used to see. Oh, maybe because I'm not that pretty.
Yeah.
So he's working on me because I'm not like his colleagues. So intimidation began to set in, and then the relationship literally died a natural death. It's sad.
You're still here on the Lifestyle Daily, right here on AM Club. We're having a conversation on how to build a long-term relationship with Dr. Kelly Daniels, and we are learning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not learning today, I said this year we'll find love, and we'll do it the right way.
Is there anything like independence?
In a relationship?
Building one.
You should have had it before getting into a relationship. Because your individual independence helps your dependence. If you've not had independence before you met who you have, you're going to have chaos. Be whole and complete before entering into a relationship. Wholeness and completeness is independence. That with or without a man, I can become the best version of myself, moving from grace to grace. But thinking I need a man to complete me or a woman to complete me exposes me to not knowing what it takes to have a man or a woman. Because love or relationship is not for, how do I say this now? You don't go into a relationship so that the person would meet your need.
Okay.
Or meet my need. We go into that to complement or polish what we already have.
Okay.
That's not need meeting. That's purpose oriented. So I'm not looking at working on you. I'm looking at working on it. So in relationship, we are working on it, not us.
Okay.
So the focus is not about working on us. The focus should be on working on it.
Okay.
Because we are both whole. We are both complete. We are both independent. So I'm mature enough to know that my focus is not on you. My focus is on it. And as long as my focus is on it, you are automatically taken care of.
Yeah.
That is independence.
Wow.
But dependence is when you are looking up to me to make you happy. Meanwhile, you are not the focus.
Yeah.
Our purpose of meeting is the focus.
Yeah.
So the focus of a relationship success is not the people involved, but the reason they are together. If we keep our minds on why we are together, we will be fine. And that's the independence that is necessary for the agenda.
Wow. Wow.
We're learning today. We're learning today. Me and my relationship is going to work.
Please go on Instagram and follow at Kelly Daniels Office. Send me a DM, and we will deal with the love business you've got to bring on the table. I am passionate about helping people become a better version of themselves from where they are into where they should be. So just follow at Kelly Daniels Office on Instagram and send me a DM immediately. On Facebook, I am Dr. Kelly Daniels.
Okay. Wrapping it up, I believe we've extensively gone into the build-up. Now, what are some of the exercises? What are some of the things you would recommend for couples to, engage themselves in so they can strengthen, their relationships?
3.
Any bonds exercises whatsoever?
3. Every relationship must have what I would call a mentor. You cannot achieve what you want to achieve alone. Whatever you want to do together, there's someone who has done it. The difference between a mentor and a model is that a mentor shows you how to get there. A model is a prototype of what you want, because you may not want to achieve what the mentor is achieving. Every couple goal is different. Every marriage has their peculiarity in assignment. And so the mentor is always someone who has seen ahead, but the model is a prototype of the freshest version of you that the mentor may not be able to identify with because he's gone past that. So two things: you must have a mentor, you must have a model. A model is the casts that we both have.
Yeah.
So the mentor has said, to achieve this, you must be this. But we have to, for example, in fact, this is cast. This bottle, before it was duplicated into millions, there's a cast, there's a form with which no, they are the same heights. They are the same because there's a cast that shows that every bottle must be this size.
Yeah.
So that's the model. What model are we looking at? What blueprints are we creating? So that mentor perpetually looks at your blueprint to say, okay, can you shift this a little bit? Can you shift that a little bit? The mentor should not be the one to create your model for you.
Okay.
So the model's job is to ensure, and the model doesn't have to be perfect. The model should be vulnerable the mentor should not be perfect. The mentor should be able to tell you about all his pitfalls so that you do not have a pitfall.
Yeah.
Because his pitfall could be your pothole. You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're making sure that you're not doing what he did so that you can be better.
Yeah.
But then you must have your own cast, you must have your own blueprint, you must have your own modus operandi.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty, so right here on Lifestyle Daily today, we had a conversation on how to build a long-term relationship, again with Dr. Kelly Daniels. Doc, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You owe me money.
I do owe you money,
Yes,
yes.
Money
And
is
the
an
money
important.
to share.
Money is an important.
Women and money.
Just make sure I get the money.
I should make sure.
Just make sure.
You are the perfect person to get the money.
To get the money. Well, Jay, what do we have next?
Okay, so time for us to plug in. Yes, you do know when it comes to the plug. Putting in fact, that's my favorite segment because I beat Mimi to a lot of things today. You know, especially
one painting,
just one painting.
One painting. I'm not here in this Ghana.
Anyways, we'll be right back and we'll get straight into the plug.
I did great, right?